Mama? Yeah, baby.
When I was growing up, I was trying to make a connection between the life I saw and the life I lived. There are days when you wonder what your role is in this country and what your future is in it. This is one of them.
Barry, here we are again, and this was a moving picture. I mean, that was. I think I told you, like, I went on. I don't even do that usually, but I went on social media live and was like telling people, you know, like, wow, this made me feel a certain way.
Thank you, bro.
And I wondered, like, just as a director, to have that audience, that TIFF audience, and have that reaction, like, how do you absorb that after making this work? Like, how does that?
You know, it's funny, man. It was, and my publicist is back there in the back room. I usually don't get emotional, man, but I was standing behind the stage when the credits rolled, and just to hear and feel the love in the room, and also just to feel that people that have been on an emotional journey. When we came out, man, you know, I definitely had tears in my eyes. It was a wonderful reception. You make these things, and you hope people feel them, and I could tell in that room people felt it.
Yeah, there's been a lot of cinema, especially here at TIFF, where they've delved into the instances of police brutality, where black men might get killed or so forth. But I've always felt that people getting their freedom taken away and railroading and pleading out to crimes they didn't commit is like almost a worse instance than the death of at a police. What was that something that brought you to this novel? I mean, because I think Baldwin has like 27, 28 novels.
Yeah.
Like was that something?
You know, it was that, but it was also the pairing of that with this very pure romance between Tish and Fonnie. You know, to see the two go hand in hand, because I think in a lot of folks' lives, those things go hand in hand. You know, the beauty and the pain side by side. It just really grabbed me. I mean, it was terrifying. You know, because I thought, you know, the balance of those two things is quite tricky, but you read the novel, and he clearly pulled it off. And I felt like if we got it right, the emotion of both would be not more tragic, but it'd be more full.
Yeah. Adapting the screenplay, I love the story about, you know, how you got the rights and everything, but there's things in the novel that I thought were key that you left out. And I don't want to say some of them because it'd be a spoiler. But when you're adapting, like, how do you make those decisions with this great writer? Like, what to...
You know, it's tricky, man. I think, you know, the film is one organism, you know, and the novel is another organism. I mean, even within that organism, there are things that we shot that aren't in the film, you know? So there are other scenes from the book that we translated to screen that aren't in the film, because the film is this organism, you know, it's a thing unto itself. And, you know, once the actors walk on set, you know, once the sets are built, you know, once the camera rolls, then we're creating a whole new world that exists outside the source material, and it's always about a fidelity to the world you're creating. And so for me, I feel like I had a plethora of choices. For example, the scene with Tish and the perfume counter, you know, at the department store, doesn't advance the narrative at all. But it's so important to her experience as a young black woman growing up in America. And so I felt like I had an abundance of choices, you know, and I tried to make the ones I felt were best for the film.
You, Tillman, and McQueen, like, all have films this year, like, where the lead is going through a woman's perspective. How important is that to just this whole diversity conversation? Because all of your last films had a different perspective, and now it doesn't seem forced, but all of your films are naturally going through, like, women this year. Like, how?
You know, I hope, you know, I hope it's just, it's an organic evolution in the culture, you know. I started this film, you know, 7, 8 years ago, and that didn't occur to me at the time. It was just a beautiful story that I wanted to tell. But you're absolutely right. I hadn't even really thought of that, and I think it's a good thing I hadn't thought of it, you know, because hopefully, you know, next year we'll get back here, and it'll be the same thing. There'll be more of these narratives that are told through a woman's perspective. hopefully, though, you just named 3 men telling films through a woman's perspective. You know, it'll be women telling those stories.
Thanks for another great project, bro.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Appreciate it.